Hello, I am not in focus. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and welcome to the November 2021 ChemKnits Dye-Along live stream. Every month I pick a new inspiration photo, and then in a live stream I dye some yarn. And this month I picked this fun and curious, I'm out of focus again, I need to stop moving as much. I'm gonna just back all the way up against the wall. I picked this fun, curious squirrel because I love the color brown. I like to wear the color brown, but I don't use it often enough. And so I really wanted to go in with brown tones, but if you're not that into brown, there is a big pop of blue with the sky here as well. And so tonight I am going to dye a few different colorways on some yarn, but this is a dye along. So I encourage all of you to dye along with me at home, and then you can submit the photos to me and I can share some in the live stream recap in about a month. And so if you would like to participate in the dye-along and share your photos with me, share them on Instagram using the hashtag ChemKnitsDyealong, or reply to the inspiration photo on the ChemKnits Facebook page with a photo comment there, and I'll pull as many as I can to include in the live stream recap, where you'll also see the finished yarn that I create tonight. Now the link to the Facebook post is also in the video description. Please, you can submit as many photos as you want, but please submit like individual images versus collages, because it's easier for me to incorporate in the video. And ideally without text on the images as well. I do put up like Instagram handle or name credits for all the pictures, so you don't need to worry about that. But yeah, so that's sort of how you can participate as well. And you know, you can pick, you don't have to use every single color in the photo this month, and occasionally I pull some like color ideas from the photo. You're not forced on that. You can also go off of a feeling from the photo. You could do something very different from what I'm doing or very similar to what I do, and so the choice is really yours. But all of this is a lot of fun, and I really hope you enjoy it. I think we've been doing this for about 3 years now. Longer? I think. I'd have to check. There is a whole playlist. You love browns, it's your last name. Emily, Brown is my last name too. My last name. But oh, I also want to give Dawn Jans a huge thank you for the super chat. If you would like to, oh, and Julia Goats. I have no idea if I pronounced your name correctly. Thank you so much for the super chat. That popped up right when I was saying thank you. There is a little $sign at the bottom of the chat where you can give super chats. I guess it's kind of like a tip jar or something. But if you want other ways that you can help support the content and videos I create, I do have a Patreon and I have an Etsy shop. And I guess other announcement wise, I do have affiliate links in the video description as well. The KnitPicks big sale is going on right now. And so there's not a daily deal today, but there's a lot of yarn on sale, including some bare yarn at really good discounts. And it's also on We Crochet as well. They're sister sites, sibling sites. I do have a blog post on my website where I have been tracking all of the deals. I give my predictions and my shopping strategies, even a couple of my purchases. I have a live stream when I went through all of that. And so, yeah, I don't know if I have this linked in the video description, but it's just the top post on my website. But I think I did something a little differently tonight. So I actually filmed a little video of the bare yarn options that I prepared for tonight. But yeah, because I thought that it would be, since I have everything pre-soaking, I was like, I can't really show it off in the dry glory. And yeah, so trying something a little bit different, but we'll see how this goes. So now I am going to attempt to play this video for all of you.
I thought I would pre-film a clip about the different yarn bases because some of these are bases I haven't used very much at all. But these are some of the yarn I'll have pre-soaking for tonight. We have Artiso lace, which is 70% merino wool, 15% cashmere, 15% mulberry silk. It is extremely luxe lace weight, pretty expensive, but it is on sale with the big sale right now, along with Luminance, which is 100% mulberry silk. And I mean, you can see the shine and the drape there. Since I've got silk blends, I figured we'd also use gloss lace, which is 70% merino, 30% silk. This is one I use more in fingering weight, and so I've dyed this one more, but I thought that it would fit with this like silk blend category. And for later on, Rebecca, 1, 2, 3 is how I'm going to label them to tell them apart. And I've got little labels on my zip ties. I wanted to do some bulky yarn, so I've got this Bare Andean Highland wool, which is 100%, I think just Peruvian. Oh, it's 100% Andean Highland wool. And I don't know if this one is still available, but there are other like chunky weight yarns from KnitPicks, but I think that this was limited edition last year. And then I have 2 skeins of Preciosa Tonal, which honestly is one of the yarn bases that scares me the most. This is just 100% merino wool. It is single ply, super luxe, but since it is not super wash, I think like it would felt if you breathe on it funny because the twist, we've done some like high twist single ply yarns. This is like a lofty lower twist one. So I want to treat this very, very carefully. But anyway, I thought that it was worth just showing a little bit about what these yarn bases look like, since I will have them pre-soaking when the live stream starts. And yeah, I hope that you like it. And again, you know, I did so well without editing, but hopefully I stopped it there. But if not, you know, the KnitPicks big sale is going on, and so some of these will be on sale, and I will have affiliate links to everything down in the video description.
I did so well without it. I had to mute it. I was reacting to what was actually coming through the web browser versus what was playing real time on my computer because I couldn't hear that without headphones and I'm not wearing headphones. So my reactions are like all off tempo. But yeah, I thought that it would be useful to just to film that ahead of time. And yeah, I'm curious to hear what you think. I guess Julia says that you that you thought it was cool to have the video inside the live. Like I've done this with a time lapse before when I did some color swatching ahead of time. Yeah, I think a lot of the yarn, Crystal, is yarn that will be some when I dye it, then I can't touch it for a while and I'll have to let it cool completely. Kind of like I end up doing with, I noticed I did not have Zebra. the non-superwash Zebra yarn from Wool to Dye For. That yarn, because it absorbs color so slowly, oftentimes I'll dye it and then we'll just have to let it sit and I have to stop wiggling until it cools. And yeah, the Preciosa is one like that, and same with some of the silk ones will probably also take a lot of time as well. So, excuse me. So yeah, Preciosa is one that I think I've maybe only dyed it once. Now, I got myself into a little bit of a pickle, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to be dyeing tonight because, well, I picked the inspiration photo and wanted to play with browns. But then I also said on a recent video that let me know if there's any yarn bases that you want to see me play with, and I'll play with them. And so that includes those like luxe silk blends. But I'm like, but do I really want to do them in like brown and blue and do something really variegated? And so then I'm having like those debates with myself. But I'm going to go for it and have fun playing with the colors, even though some of these bases are like 3 times as expensive as the normal ones I play with. So you know, I think it should be a lot of fun, but I'm a little nervous, I will admit. I do also have some stroll pre-soaking, but I really wanted to try to use some bases that I haven't used. Even if the rustic wool, or the, what is it, the Andean chunky, the bulky one, that really bulky one, even if that one is no longer available at KnitPicks. So, and the yarn label on that one, I think for me said like 400 something yards, when it's like 48 or 42 or something like that. So I had like a misprint label. But for all that these are expensive bases, I did pull up over here. So the Aristo, I'll say that wrong a million times, is 40% off right now. The Luminance is 36% off. I think this is the most expensive bare yarn base KnitPicks offers. Gloss is on sale. It's only 20% off. And even like Bare Preciosa is 25% off. So I do have my big sale affiliate links in the video description, and I have one pinned in the chat. And so as an affiliate, I wanted to switch away from that. There we go. As an affiliate, I do earn commissions if you make purchases through my links, but all the products I'm choosing to share are things that I bought and paid for myself, and I share links at my own discretion. So this is not sponsored in any way by KnitPicks. I need to push myself and do some of these odd bases more, because I don't offer, like when I do like lab partner listings, I don't offer as many odd bases because I want to make sure that I'm offering things I have in stock. And so I need to, like, for last minute lab partner, just pull some of these other bases more and just like use them and have fun. These bases that I have been squirreling away for a while. There may be a few puns. And I'm actually not sorry. I was going to apologize, but I'm not sorry. I hoard bare yarn. You can't find a DK weight yarn with nylon in it. So Wool to Die For has Platinum DK, which is 75/25 superwash merino nylon. And there is Stroll Sport. Let's, I'll stand up in a moment, but let me just check. I don't remember if Stroll comes in DK. Okay, so Stroll comes in Sport weight, that's 75/25. And then Hawthorne comes in DK. And so the Hawthorne is 80% superwash fine Highland wool, 20% polyamide, which is like a type of nylon. Maggie, maybe that'll help, but also Hawthorne is 2-ply, and so that might not be quite what you're looking for. So otherwise, I would recommend Wool to Die For as Platinum. Okay, but let me show what I have pulled. Yeah, so nylon is a polyamide, and so polyamide is a type of like nylon type thing. Okay, so nope, that's me. I want to go here. All right, so I pulled some colors, and I've pulled a few blues just to have. I think I also pulled pecan brown, fawn, sand dune, platinum, and true black, which I may or may not use, but I pulled it just in case. And I think that the blues I have up there are alpine blue, frozen, and then I pulled indigo blue, which is deeper than the blue I have there. But if I'm doing browns and want, instead of like a black pop, to use a darker blue pop, then I might choose that indigo blue instead of black and sort of go that way. Yeah, Maggie, so go check out the Hawthorne DK. That might be a good choice for socks. And apologies for my kids bouncing. So, all right, you've seen the yarn bases that I have, and I think because these are bases where it takes longer for colors to strike, I think I want to hand paint with dry powders on the countertop for those silk blends and then steam them in a steamer basket. And then we'll either do something similar with the non-superwash wools that I have, or I also do have over on the stove, I have a immersion pan there. So I do have some dye stocks in various colors hidden under my face. And so we can pull those. And although I don't have a lot of like the browns mixed up, I have yellow, red, black, and some brown. And so we could mix up some colors as an option as well. So we're going to see where the day takes us. That's the plan. But I am always open to suggestions. And yeah, I have at least touched all, and when I'm at a waiting point, I do have 3, I've placed like, I've lost count, 7 or 8 orders from the KnitPicks big sale right now, and I have 3 of them right here, 3 of the smaller ones. And so I will unbox these when we get to like a waiting step. But yeah, let's go to the countertop. You're hoping to get a chestnut brown by adding some crimson. Yeah, adding red to like, I missed which color you had first. But there are some really nice ways to make browns if you don't have any. A really good way is actually mixing orange and black. You can get a lot of really lovely browns by doing various proportions of orange and black. So that is something I recommend. But yeah, I mean, at the very least, I'm going to start, I think, with these dry powders, and then we can use those stock solutions if we need to. But I do have my iPad monitor here, so if something disappears, like sound-wise or something, you can let me know. But I think I am tempted to play with these 4 colors on our silk blends. And I might try it on Stroll first to make sure I like it. Instead of swatching a million things, I think that might be a decent idea. Now, all the tools and equipment that I'm using tonight are dedicated for dyeing yarn and are not used for the preparation of food. And when I'm going to be dealing with the dry dye powders, I will be wearing a respirator mask, safety glasses, and gloves. So my voice will get more muffled while I'm doing that. Okay, so this is 8 to 12 cups of water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm starting with a lot of acid because we've got silk blends that I'm going to add in there. Bringing them over. Bringing these over. Oh, making a mess. Because of course I am. And I am going to have to run up to tell the kids that it is bedtime because they are thumping over my head and that is distracting. So, excuse me one moment. Hey boys, Mommy's live streaming and you guys are making a lot of noise. Please turn off the Triceratops lamp. And it's time to go to sleep because you have school tomorrow, okay? Turn it off. It's time to turn it off. Mommy is live streaming. You guys need to be quiet. Besides, bedtime. Oh dear. It's like when it's bedtime and kids don't want to go to bed.
Yeah, basically I'm using Silk Blends. Yeah, I am excited as well. Okay, I'm gonna gently move this over to the sink. And I'm just gonna let it sit in there. So hopefully I make a little bit less of a mess. The only thing, oh, that was dirty. The only thing I don't want to do is I do not want to get the powder containers very wet. You just ordered your respirator mask from DS. Yeah, I wear a deluxe rubber respirator mask. I do have, this is the mask that I wear, and I'm actually close to replacing it after a couple years just because some parts need replacing that I can't find, and so I have a new one. But what was I going to say about it? But I had just put new filters in, so I'm still using it up. But I really like it because I get a really tight seal around my face. And I got my glasses. Oh, I don't need to put it on this second. But okay, so my plan is to test on a skein of stroll. I'm gonna have another skein of stroll as like a yarn mop, so that way I have it in case. So that way I can wipe my gloved fingers onto it. What is going on here? I don't know what that is. Oh, it's just water. Get a different pan. And like soap or something on one of the pans. Okay, so I'm going to set up a yarn mop to wipe my gloved hands onto. I am going to then bring over the stroll. Just ask Keith to go and ask the kids to calm down. Hopefully we don't have to separate them. They are being quite rambunctious tonight. Okay, so here is a skein of stroll. Sorry for the delays, everyone. Okay, let's get suited up. Okay. Of course, I cannot really read the chat when I have my safety glasses on because the little bit of blur makes it hard to see. But I suppose I didn't need to do this on both a skein of stroll and on the yarn mop. I mean, I think that I want to dye a skein of stroll with the silk blends because I think that that could be really cool to see the difference of the colorway on Superwash Merino Nylon and then on the silk blends as well. So I can just test these over here. The one thing I do want to make sure is that my gloves are dry when I go into another container. You know, this is a little bit more, this is more closer to the color that I needed for the pumpkin jack-o'-lanterns. The Alpine blue is very sky-like. It might be a tad too red, but I don't mind. And also, since it is more of a premixed pastel, it means that it should work nicely. So that pecan brown
is very, very deep. And I think I'm going to want to use it more sparingly on a lot of this, because I have a feeling that that color could overtake everything. And then the fawn seems like the perfect color for like the stomach of the squirrel. And I put in a bunch of powder right there, but it is a much warmer toned brown. And actually it looks like it might break and have little bits of orange in there, which I don't mind actually. I don't mind. And then the platinum, because I think that this is the kind of color that I want. Yeah, it's a bit of a, it's a gray, but it's sort of, well, right now that doesn't look necessarily that warm, but I think it'll interplay with these other colors really, really nicely. And so I'm not really sure how I am going to dye with all the colors. I think even if I speckle, the colors will spread out a lot, and so I might go like that. Yeah, the pecan brown is like amazing. Where is my, oh, my phone is over here. I was like, what did I do? Okay, I'm going to share this on my Instagram stories, if I can do that. Instagram story. Okay, because then you can see the colors. Yeah, the fawn is really, really good. It's like really, really good for it. The pecan brown
Is a bit deep, but I think also can be really, really great. Okay, what I need to do now is move this. That needs to be washed. I want to set up my steamer basket so it is ready to go. And oh no, I think that was dirt, not dye. Yeah, I mean, because I thought about doing this here and I was like, you know, I really should just look at it here and see what I think. So I really want the browns to be the star. I do really like these colors all together, but I want that brown to really, really have a moment. Lid. Okay. So I'm going to set up my 12-quart pot on the steamer basket. And I'm going to use a lot of water. Because I may or may not have had this pot go dry in the last few months. But no yarn was damaged, just my ego a little bit. Okay, so I have that heating up so it's ready when I am. And so, yeah, it's, you know, sometimes hard to decide what kind of technique will work best for what kind of colorway. But now let's start. How much water do I have in here? There's a reasonable amount of water in here. See, here's the thing. I am going to be sort of speckling the powder on, but at the same time, I'm going to stick this just behind me because I don't think there's space. I'm going to be going for speckles, sort of, but no. I'm going to be dyeing it with dry powder, but I'm not going for speckles. I kind of want there to be some amount of color spread on here, if that makes sense. So
I'm going to bring over the yarn, which I did. I don't know how much more liquid I removed. So here is the luminance. Oh, it's shiny even there. This is the gloss lace, and this is the Aristo, the one I always mispronounce. I don't dye a lot of lace weight. There is so much surface area that I'm intimidated. I don't know. Well, we're going to see what happens and where this goes. And the thing that is that if I'm not a fan, I can always over dye it. So that is always an option. But, all right, let's get suited back up and let's dye some yarn. So,
and yes, I always cut out my singing from videos. So part of me wants to start with the blue, but I'm not going to, because I want our browns to be the star tonight, and so therefore, that's where we should start. And the thing with using dry powder on the countertop when it's not mixed with citric acid is that the colors are going to spread. We did soak in a fair amount of acid, and certainly you can get it so you can get speckles this way. But if you want sharp speckles and you don't want the colors to spread, then I recommend mixing your dyes with citric acid. So I'm starting in a diagonal form, and we're gonna add lots of dye in various spots. But part of the reasoning for doing things somewhat this way is that it makes it less repeating, a little bit more random. I don't know. Okay, so Crystal has a really good question that I'm going to come back to once I turn back around. I'm just wiping my hands on that yarn mop. So you've heard with dyeing silk that if you heat it too high, it could lose its shine. This is not something I'm sure that this is true. I haven't observed it. I think steaming should hopefully be fine. The last time I dyed this, I did it low immersion, I think. I don't think I steamed it. So we'll see. I think I have another skein that I can compare it to. So fawn absolutely breaks. And it's really beautiful. I actually really, really like it. That was a lot of pecan. I don't know if I'm going to regret doing this kind of technique on this yarn, if there's going to be a ton of washing. You know, it's sort of what I wanted to do. And the thing is that if I end up with the wrong technique for the base, you know what the worst that happens is? I get the wrong technique for the base. And I have something that people don't like. Which is a reason why I take risks. Because if I take risks, then that means that you all don't need to take the risks. And so therefore, I mean, this is why I try things, right? I'd rather take the risks and mess up than you all take the risks. So I hope that makes some amount of sense. Now I am really, really trying. Oh no. Some of this isn't on camera. as I realize. Okay, that's better. So as I am sitting here, I actually really like this. I'm not sure what kind of like lace weight shawl you might do with something that is more wild, but these colors will spread more. Maybe less so on our stroll, which is closest to me, but on the others, it will absolutely spread. So the platinum, which I'm going to use, I think, a reasonable amount. It is a premix pastel, so it has less punch than some of the other colors. But, so that means that it'll be a little easier to spread around. And I'm going to bit all over with it, which again, I'm not entirely sure about, but it does feel more neutral. Oh, sand dune is another one. You know, I might test it, but I might also come in and do like, I'm all of a sudden using like so much dye. I'm afraid that this will be bleeding city. I really hope not. I'm tempted to bring in some sand dune because I like the sandy feel of it. Yeah, I think I'm going to bring in some sand dune as well because this gray is very cool toned, but the sand dune has warmth to it, and so it's nice. When I talk loud with the mask on, the mask vibrates, so it's actually hard to tell what you say. Okay, so if I talk like this, can you guys hear me if I'm talking softer versus projecting? So that's what I don't know, is if that, actually I can try to look. Yeah, I can't, oh, actually it does look like it's coming. You know, I think it's also potentially that I'm closer to the camera. Because I usually project when I'm doing pre-filmed stuff, so that is related as well. So let me know if that is better, but there is a delay between what I see in the chat and what you all see me do. Okay, let's sand in on 2. The thing is that with dry powder, the sand dune can actually look very, what's the word? It can look very dark, but then when it dissolves, it's paler. So, yeah, so I really like this, but I don't know if you've seen my Hanukkah Oops video one year where I like speckled on with like some different colors, and then it ended up being so mega saturated because I used way too much dye. I am absolutely in danger of doing this here. Absolutely in danger. Okay. And just so you can see, here's the sand dune versus the silver gray. Oh dear. Oh shoot. Okay. So yeah, if someone can let me know if the sound is better, that would be awesome. Let's move this vinegar water where I will totally trip on it. And I want to take a picture. So that way I can have it. And if this ends up in oopsie territory. Oh, I was going to flip, but I haven't done any blue. Okay, chat. Should I do blue? Or should I leave it with the browns? Oh, good. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the feedback. It's hard when like I can't hear what's coming through the audio, and it's just funny because I'm talking so much softer now than what I do when I film Bed Pot Weekly. I talk the other way. So I think some blue could be really, really pretty. I am a little nervous because I really like this. If I don't do blue on this set, I will do blue on the next set. Yes, I agree to do just a little bit of blue. Yes, okay, let's, and I'm going to do it like this. I'm adding just like little bits. Like I'm moving in a line, but the blue is not going in a continuous line. And I can't, the hard thing is that I can't really see the blues yet. And so it makes it a little hard to know how I feel, but I think I do like it. I'm just using up this bit that I have on my fingers. So I need to take a new picture clearly. So I don't think you can see it right now. I actually really, really like those pops of blue. It is super subtle. Super subtle. Let me see. Okay. There it is with the blue. Just getting some pictures so I can be like, yes, the blue is there. Actually, I'll post one of these to Instagram. Hey kids, please go to bed. Okay, I'm just at ChemKnits on Instagram, and so if you go there, then you'll be able to see that I do have it. Hello, hello. All right, so the problem with dealing with powders is that they don't really go through very many layers, but I'm going to help that, and I'm going to show you how. Because remember how I said we're not exactly going for speckles here? I'm applying the dry dye powder, but I want the colors to be able to spread a bit. So now that I have things flipped, I'm tapping these colors in. And then you can see it's sort of spreading them a little bit. And so not completely, but it's giving me more the effect that I want. And it's going to help some of these colors go through some more layers. But with these lace weight colorways, I am going to need to go over this more than just these 2 times, probably. But actually here, you can see that that's just spreading all these colors out more. And so that's what I'm going for. What's the difference between pecan brown and teddy bear brown? Teddy Bear Brown is a lot warmer. Pecan Brown is very, very cool toned. And so that's probably why Pecan Brown is one of my favorites. And so once again, I'm doing a very similar start here. And at some point, I will start, there might be a few colorways that need some more color, and a few where I feel like the coverage is good. So with a random technique, kind of like this, it's not going to be the most even comparison because I'm not adding the exact same amount of each color onto each of the bases. So I hope that that makes some sense. Okay, that's that one. My yarn mop will probably be steamed as well. Ooh. Oh, your phone just saying I added to my story. That's so great. Yeah, so the pecan brown, the teddy bear brown, I would say would be in between the pecan and the fawn. What's funny is that I don't know if pecan brown is more like the hulls of pecans because it is not really the color of the nuts, in my opinion. So, oh my goodness, I am getting so warm. Oh dear. Oh, using so much dye. It's like that, will I regret it or will I love it? So hopefully we are going to be in the more love it category. Wiping off my glove. And then the paper towel to make sure that it is dry. Whew. Okay, now for some platinum. And I'm trying to pay some more attention to the ends this time. I feel okay going really heavy with the platinum and the sand dune because those are so much less pigmented. I do appreciate also that Dharma prices their dyes based on the pigments that go into them. So their dye prices, their acid dye prices do vary a lot. I had someone ask me today, or I get asked every once in a while if I am, if I have an affiliate account with Dharma. And as far as I'm aware, they don't have affiliate accounts. But if you're a Dharma rep and you do, hit me up because I promote you all the time. But yeah, I try to promote the things that I genuinely use, whether or not I have an affiliate account, because, you know, if you guys want to try to do what I'm doing with the tools I'm using, seems like the best bet. But let's see. You had a pecan tree in your grandparents' yard. The color you got looks a lot like the skin around the flesh of the nut. Okay. Whew. I'll be able to pay more attention to some of the questions once I sit back down. Whew. I'm like, my back. The problem that I get is not from like the standing, but the leaning. That's what I struggle a bit with, it feels like sometimes. And then this will be the kind of time when I'm like, how old am I again? When you have a December birthday, it can be very easy to get confused, because if you're thinking about the year, you can't use that to help determine your age for very long. So, if anyone is curious, I am 37, I think. There was a time last year where before my birthday I said I was 37, and I spent a lot of, I think, 2020 thinking I was 37, and then realized that, oh wait, I am not. So, a fun little goofy ChemKnits-ism. And so what I've decided, as I was sitting here deciding to do this, is that if these colorways are too loud, and I'm not a fan, or there's too many white patches left, I'm just going to overdye them with some brown, and it'll be good. Problem is, I kind of need a break, but I don't want to take a break with all this dry powder on the counter, so I am going to sit down over here, stretch my back, and see what chat says. Oh my gosh. Oh, pecans have a mottled shell. I'm not sure if I've ever seen a pecan shell. And so the answer I gave about the silk and whether heat can dull the silk is that I've heard that too, but I haven't observed it. So, yeah, but here's the good news. The good news with doing this with the technique is that as I sort of like open this up, you can see we have like some color in this interior area already, which is good. Like, I don't mind. Oh, I forgot to add blue. That's okay. It's okay to have one section without blue. I'm like, I already started flipping it. There will be color transfer from sections of this yarn onto other sections of the yarn. And that is A-okay. I mean, honestly, I can even go like this and press from one onto another, and that is fine as well. The coverage on the stroll is actually looking pretty good. Which is surprising me a little bit, given that the way some of these others are. But, okay, I think I had more water in the stroll than I did in some of these others, which I am regretting a little bit. But you know what? Silk does need more dye to have those deep colors. Like wool looks dark. Yes, it'll help. Not adding blue on that one time will help keeping the blue to a smidge. So now I need to start going a little bit lighter, but I do want to focus over where these ties are. And so the color on the silk could be muted enough to be the squirrel, because I'm going real ham in here. But the color on the stroll will likely be too dark, maybe, but you know what? I don't really care. I'm enjoying this, so why not lean into it? Okay. You need a little bit more right there. Oh dear, Rebecca. It's like why I don't like doing the dishes. I don't like doing the dishes because I also just can't bring my body to lean against a countertop. And so then that means that I like lean more and put more pressure on my back. which may be a bit goofy. Yeah, I wish I had a little bit more liquid in the silk blends. I think we'll be okay. And I'm going to try to keep the blue to a smidge when we get around to it. But I am trying to look for like big patches of white and then be like, no more, no more. The yarn mop is looking very pretty. And a little dirty, to be honest. You missed what blue am I using? Alpine blue. Oh dear. Okay, I might skip the platinum right now and just go for sand dune. And then I think I'll come in with like a little bit of platinum. My glasses are steaming up, so it's getting harder to see. Oh my goodness, I'm just a wreck tonight. It's been a while since I've done something like heavily on the countertop like this. Is the stove? Yeah, the stove's a little higher. So either my body is very out of practice, which is very possibly true, or I'm now discovering the reason why I haven't done this in a while. I feel like we'll see if I'm still editing Hanukkah videos. And yeah, I still have just a handful of Hanukkah samplers left. So if you want one and you didn't get one, I think there's a chance that it could arrive in time if you order like shortly. So Hanukkah starts a week from Sunday. And I have not noticed a UPS slowdown yet, but they say that it is going to come. So, whew. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of blue. And the thing with going for diagonals for these little bits of blue is that if I just did straight lines, then the blue could all end up in that same section, and that's not what I want. Oops, although I did just drop some. So there may be like lots of areas that don't have blue, but we will see. Trying to keep it very sporadic, and I know you can't see the blue at all on camera, but it is there. Okay. Whew. All right, here's what I'm going to do now. The straw, pressing these colors in. And I can even come with this and press on the counter. So there's just, I think, this section that was like inside those ties on both ends. A little bit there. And yeah, these just aren't as damp. I removed more of that liquid. Okay, we're looking for bigger white patches. And see, there's some towards the interior. I forgot to mention that I did pre-soak this yarn for a very, very long time. I pre-soaked these silk yarns for, goodness, like all day. How is that doing? We've got some white patches. Okay, I feel like soon the stroll will be more done, and then I will spread it out. Okay, I see a patch here. Patch there. Looks like a lot of this patch is just like near an edge. But can you see how these colors are starting to like blend onto the yarn in just a really cool way? And so that's sort of what I was going for. The 10s. Oh, okay. I'm like, I don't know what that is. All right, let's use more fawn. And I like that the blue is sort of sinking in and blending with these colors to look more gray, which is very, very pretty. I don't mind there being some white. I just want to break it up. It's like, hey, break it up. Okay. And the last time I used sand dune, right, but not platinum. I need some like things to dry. Oh, thank you. I wish the colors were coming through the monitor better. It's because it's nighttime. Let's go with some platinum. Because with this I can be a lot heavier. And don't need to worry quite so much. So, I'm not talking as much because I am very, very focused. And I'm really, really liking it. And I know the colors might spread, all right, a bit more. And instead of going over to the yarn mop right now, I am going to pat. And I may come in with a bit of blue, but I also might not. The blue is so subtle. So subtle. I think what I'm going to do is do a tiny bit of blue before I flip. Drying off my hands. Oh, man. I'm like, want to get this in the steamer basket. But yeah, the blues have really, really turned more gray, which I think is actually really pretty. I'm still trying to not overdo it, but the blue is also a pastel. But yeah, what I see are these gorgeous gray tones that are from where those blues were. The reason why I'm adding more is there was a time when I was going for a hint of lavender on a colorway, and it just disappeared when the yarn dried. So I would like there to be some of the blue, conceivably, like, if you please, sirs, strands. I'm like tapping a little bit yarn up. All right, let's see. As I wiggle my back. And here's the thing. If I discover a big pastel area that I wish didn't have, or that I wish had more color, well, A, there's plenty of color on the countertop, so I can kind of get that right now, but we can dye it. Oh no, the monitor went away. I gotta check that the stream is still going. We still good? The iPad failed. But it looks like I'm still streaming. I don't see the scrolling wheel of death. Well, thank you. Why did that close? Oh, yes, YouTube crashed. Well, I am quite aware that YouTube crashed. Fine. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Whew, and now I need new gloves. I just didn't know if my internet went out. But yes, I think what I want to do is start putting these into the steamer basket, because if I need more, I can add more, and I can check and see how we're doing. And you know, there is a larger, so there I found a larger patch. This is going to let me spread out these silk blends a little more and see where I would like there to be a little more color. Oh my gosh, this one needs to be spread out a lot. We're going to let you wait. We're going to focus on these two. The Aristo, which actually is looking pretty good. There's that spot there. That spot there, but otherwise that one looks good. I think the gloss is taking a bit more color. And then the luminance I'll come and I'll do in a moment. Okay, let's do fawn. It's amazing, and I think this was something from the summer mini skein mini series this year. There was a bonus colorway I was doing, and I did a countertop one, but I think I didn't control for how much water there was, and so it just didn't come out like I was expecting. So that was interesting. Okay. There's that color. And let's do some sand dune. But yeah, I didn't check to see how wet or dry. Oh my goodness. You're in France right now? Whew, it's late there. Okay, hopefully sand dune is not out of stock, because I am using this color like it's going out of style. No, what? That doesn't make sense. If I was using the color like it was going out of style, I wouldn't be using very much, right? Or does that mean I'm trying to use it up? I don't think I understand that phrase. And I also don't really know why Hamilton just like popped into my head. which I'm definitely not about to start singing because I do not want any copyright claims. Yeah, see, there's another big white area. I wonder what happens if I do this. See, that helped. All right, and here's what I'm gonna do that is a little like weird. I'm coming over with more liquid in my hands. Now, I want to be careful because I definitely do not want to felt this, but that's better. Say about you. Yeah, see, I think you had a little bit more water in you to begin with. So it can make a huge difference. Ooh, I really like these. Even though the blue is having such a subtle moment, oh my gosh, a really subtle moment. Okay, let's take a look at our luminance, because I opened it and I was like, oh, there's this white area, but you got all this color here. Wow, the dyes are not penetrating very far with this at all. Oh my gosh, opening it up, there's so much white, but I'm just sort of stamping it like I might a yarn mop and seeing and moving around because of my back. Oh dear. I am amazed that there's this much white. I can also take my fingers and paint and bring some of these colors in. It's possible that this just was not as well saturated as I had hoped, or just that I need to practice more. I bought some more of this base in the big sale because I think I showed that it's, I forget if it's like 30 or 40% off. I actually really, really like this. It's becoming more and more subtle the more I mess with it, and I'm curious. So it's funny because it's like normally you're like, I don't want muddy colors. I don't want brown. But that's exactly what we're going for today. I really, really like this. Okay, I'm going to put it in the steamer basket, which is getting a little bit full. And then I'm going to come over with our yarn mop and start cleaning off the counter. And unfortunately, I don't think there's space for her in the steamer basket right now, but I might try. But then I can take a little bit of a break and we can do like an unboxing. Okay, but first I'll finish cleaning up. But let's try fit our mop in. Okay, it fit. Oh, okay. And I'm going to set a timer. I'm going to turn up that heat for 30 minutes. It's a little bit over. And I'm going to finish wiping down the counter. Whenever I'm not actively using a color, I do really make an effort to have that jar closed. And I have absolutely stained, I protect my work surface with a shower curtain. And it is a bit stained. That is okay. hope I have more paper towels. But the main thing I want to make sure is that we don't have any dry powder around. And we'll get a better thorough clean at the end of the evening. But I am also going to wipe down my floors just in case I got a little too excited. And so far, I know I'm using browns today, but so far I just see dirt because I haven't mopped my floors. Yeah, when there's dye powder that gets on the floor, which usually there's like none anyway, but you see it shows up like in little specks. But that looks all really good. Wash up. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to come sit down. Let's see. I'm not sure if I've dyed something with tencel in it before. Ooh. Hello. Let me see. What is tencel? Okay, so it is sort of, so it's like a rayon. Yeah, I mean, what can happen potentially with a blend like that is if you have, if you're using acid dyes, it's possible that the fibers have soaked in some of the color, but it's not going to strike to it. And so that's the reason why there can be some more rinsing. Like when I've tried to dye like regular cotton with Kool-Aid, and then it just bleeds and bleeds and bleeds and bleeds. It's just that there's some very weak interactions that aren't stable, and that can sometimes cause it. I'm trying to remember if I see like with Galileo more bleeding or not. I'm not sure. Whew, okay, I probably missed some questions. Why is it when you create your whole house falls apart? Oh my goodness. I mean, it is, there's yarn everywhere. We're like, is it just the pandemic that there's stuff all over the house? And then Alex was like, yeah, it could be when I started going like more full time. There's yarn everywhere. But speaking of yarn, I have some packages that this one, I don't think I've ever received like KnitPicks or We Crochet yarn in like a bag like this, maybe once. But I opened it because I think the return address just said, oh, I guess it does say Crafts America, whatever. Okay, fine. I didn't recognize what it was, so I did open it. But I got some, come on. I should just sit back. I got some High Desert, which is the American grown Sheniko wool. Kyo. No, there I am. Yes. It is got like, it's really bouncy. How many plies is it? Okay, so it's a bouncy 3-ply and has a reasonable high twist. What weight is it? It says it's worsted weight. It feels and looks a little bit thin, although it is 217 yards per 100 grams, which is in worsted weight territory. So I got this in, I mean, I really like it. Oh my gosh. I got this in just white or, no, what was the color? High Desert. Where's the yarn? Okay, so it does come in a sport
but I got it in cottonwood, which wasn't on sale. But I think there was a like a weekly sale on We Crochet, and so that's why I picked it up. Because I asked, and well, maybe it was Julia who said that, like, yes, check out High Desert. And so, I mean, it's lovely. It is, I love it's really bouncy and high twist, like it's very round. I like Wool of the Andes, but it's like loftier. There's more space in there. And so this reminds me, honestly, not that I could spin something quite this even, but it reminds me a little bit more because of the higher twist of yarn that I might spin myself. So I really do like it. Yeah, I don't know if I can get really close. We're going to turn the light down. There we go. Can you focus that close? There we go. So see, it's like, it's very, very round and bouncy. I really like it. I would expect, so Julia said, I wonder if it'll bloom and puff up when dyed. Camera, I'm right here. There we go. Is it more rustic? I mean, it's, I would say a tad rustic, but I would happily wear it in a hat. But I think it feels a bit softer than Wool of the Andes to me, which I use in hats and stuff. So I really, really like it. It is rather expensive. I think it was $19 for 100 grams, but it is spun and like grown. The sheep are in the US, and so that accounts for part of the price point. But as for will it bloom and puff, maybe a little bit, but probably not necessarily, because I don't know if this, like, sometimes bare yarn will feel a little bit more stretched. Like, what was there was the one that I was sent for like some anniversary that was like an 8-ply, like really puffed up once it was washed, but it looked more stretched out in the bare form. I'm totally blanking on what that yarn was. But yeah, so sometimes straight from the mill, it's a little bit stretched out until it's dyed, and then it kind of puffs up. So I would say that if this were less expensive, I would go and buy a 20-pack of it. I'm really into it. I really think that it's beautiful. Like, I could see myself, just from these first impressions, I could see myself, and Wool of the Andes has been my workhorse yarn for over a decade. But if it were cheaper, I would switch to this probably in a heartbeat. So, yeah. But like, I mean, I just keep feeling it. It's a gorgeous yarn. It is a truly gorgeous yarn. I need a knife. Oh, I need a knife. I can reduce that. Box cutter. So when I say that I've made 7 or 8, this camera really does not like me moving, which for it being the front-facing camera is a problem. So when I say I've made like 7 or 8 purchases in the big sale, I have bought some 20 packs of Swish DK. There was like a day where there was sale off of like bulk value packs, so that was great. And then like for 10 seconds, Stroll was back in stock, and I got 40. And it says it's shipped, so we will see what I get. Now, Julia, I gave this yarn high marks, but I haven't used it yet. So, too bad that I missed out on the sale. I'm now curious what other colors it comes in. I mean, these are really rich colors. Like, what is this? Dusk? What color? It's a deep indigo. Okay, so that's more of a navy. It looks like a purple over there. Some people would say indigo is like purple. Like the lupine is like a little too pink for my taste. I think that maybe if I was going to get some, I would go for this bluebird color. I mean, it's, so the yarn is processed. Why did I think? Yeah, so it's the wool is grown in Oregon, I believe, but maybe not. So it's processed in South Carolina, dyed and milled in North Carolina, and so it's. I mean, it's beautiful, very, very beautiful. Okay. Paradise Fibers had some American-grown wool in one of their Fiber of the Month clubs that was also just gorgeous. All right, so those things fall out. I don't remember which day this was from, but I got some safety eyes. Oh, these are tiny. I haven't made little like projects in a while, but I got some tiny itty bitty safety eyes because I think I needed to get, this is part of my strategy for free shipping. All right, so what, ooh, I know which day this was. All right, so Hawthorne sock blanks are on sale right now. And so I've talked about Hawthorne before, but just like the Stroll sock blanks, these are double stranded with 2 strands of fingering weight yarn knit together. Come on. There we go. And yeah, they're 50% off for the big sale. What else did I get? I got some Memento, which is a cotton that I don't remember if I'd felt before. How many plies is this? It's like a million plies. There's a lot of strands in here. This is a very, very soft cotton. And so the colorway that I got is called, oh, EU79. Oh, Moonshadow. So it's sort of a cream, and then it looks like it has a little bit of like platinum and sand dune, or how I like bare yarn with a little bit of a pale gray and a pale like brown. And so I think that I want to over dye it at some point. You just got your KnitPicks delivery today. You got 2 of those blanks. I have no idea what to do with them. I think I have a lot of videos with sock blanks, but on one of these ones I mixed dyes with guar gum and I painted these cherry blossoms, and that was one of my favorite things I'd ever done. So this order I placed to get the free tool pack, which is available for purchase, but ooh. Okay, so unfortunately, I would say that the vinyl pouch is wrinkled. So I'll go through everything that's in here in a moment. But this has me pretty disappointed. Like clearly this got, I wonder if I can straighten it back out. But I was all excited to use it because I love clear pouches. But with it super, super wrinkled, can I straighten it out? I might be able to smooth it back out. Just a little bit. I'm like adding some heat for my hands to try. And about the little pouch. Oh, I disconnected for a second, but I think I'm back. Okay, but anyway, in here, there are a lot of good goodies. There is a View Sizer. What is this? Soak it in hot water? Yeah, I'll try that. Oh, cool. So it is a needle sizer, which is why I was excited. But then there's also this clear sort of bubble with a line. So you can line it up and count the stitches and know where 4 inches is. That is really cool. That is really, really cool. I wonder if it like magnifies. Oh, it does. It magnifies the stitches. Oh, that's so cool. I've never seen anything like that before. Okay, so that is the View Sizer. There is a pair of sharp scissors, which are good for any notions bag. There are the KnitPicks split ring stitch markers, which I actually own and use. I also have some of their bent knit tapestry needles. I may have one of these row counters floating around. I don't really use them, but I do have like a bunch of their tape measures, their retractable tape measures. And so I think that this kit altogether, I mean, it was free when I bought it, and so I forget what it is. I don't think I can microwave it because there might be metal on the zipper. I'm actually not sure if it's metal. But let me see. All these items are certainly available, but tool kit. I mean, that's not it. Here we go. Basic tool pack. So, I mean, it's a really nice value. I guess it's a little bit on sale, but I got this for free. So I would say that the pouch is not anything. The pouch is a disappointment because of the condition it arrived in. But, you know, at the same time, it would still function. Like, I could still use it. I'm just less excited about it because it's a little like, harder to see. But you know what? I would definitely use this as like a backup one. This pouch just isn't gonna like replace my good one in any kind of way. So very excited about this, like that magnified thingy though. That's very exciting. I can make this go away and come bigger. There we go. Yours has a metal tab, yeah. So, I mean, for a free kit, it's good, and a lot of the things in here are stuff that I always need more of. So, that is cool. So what else did I get? I got some Simply Alpaca Aran in the color Aliana. So this is 100% alpaca, super, super soft. I'm gonna put you there. I got some, you know, I'm dyeing gloss lace right now, but I got 2 hanks of gloss DK. I mean, okay, my packing slip is all crumpled as well. I think that what happened was they tried to stuff everything into a really small box. And because they were trying to stuff it all in, that's why this ended up wrinkled. But yeah, I got some gloss DK, which, you know, it's one of the bases that I was dyeing just a few minutes ago, just thicker. And then I got a skein of Palette. So Palette is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. It is a very low twist 2-ply yarn. It's amazing for color work because it is so grippy. You can see how the bare yarn, these strands are sticking to each other. And that's the reason why I don't dye it as much anymore. This was the yarn that I used in all my early videos, was the first 100% wool yarn I ever dyed. I love it. I love it. I love knitting with it. I have it in probably like 75 colors upstairs in my studio. But the reason why I don't use it for examples as much anymore is because since it clumps to itself, it doesn't feel as pretty when it's done. And then you might be like, ooh, is it felted? But it's really not. It's just because it is so lofty and grippy, and that's what makes it so good for color work. Yeah, but I think that the issue, because as I put all of these skeins back on the box, this is the problem. It's an itty bitty box for a non-itty bitty, oh, I forgot one thing. Order. Where were the buttons? Here we go. I got some coconut buttons. I don't know if I needed a minimum for free shipping or something, but I wanted to see them, and I have like a random collection of buttons. I don't use them a lot, but oh, these are darling. These coconut buttons are so cute. I want more. I want more. Oh, that one, the holes don't seem, I think you could poke that. That's fine. They're really, really smooth. The American grown wool I mentioned is called High Desert. It's this one. This was its own order. So I hate this camera. I just bought it this year. And I mean, it's so good except for when I wiggle and then it's not good. So High Desert comes like this. It's not technically a bare yarn, but I figured I'd get some because it's one of the bases KnitPicks has that I'd never touched before. And I like to try to get them to touch so then I can answer questions. But what was I going to say? So my strategy for the big sale is because there's so many like special coupon days and stuff, if there's a small order, and like We Crochet had 20% off High Desert. So 2 skeins was enough for the free shipping. And so I placed that order there. And so I have a collection of yarn that's discounted as part of the big sale I went to buy, but I only order enough at a time to get like the free tool pack, which I'm really glad because I'm now, some of these notions I'm going to keep upstairs and other downstairs. So here's my other box. Now, right now I'm complaining that they stuffed the box too much. In the past, KnitPicks has sent a lot of boxes that have been too empty, have had bubble, like plastic bubbles things in there, and then the boxes arrived crushed. So these boxes are not arriving crushed. The contents, I mean, it's yarn, so it's not that big a deal, but like the label on my palette was a little ripped. So if this is crumpled, I will cry. Ooh, is this bigger? Oh, this color is amazing. I mean, I think they called it like, it's champagne. And it's a little bit like rosy. It's almost like a little bit of a rosé. And look, it's got the knit fabric lining. I love these bags. And they feel unchanged from the way I knew them. There are some creases in it, but it's okay. I mean, it was a free tote bag. But the creases in it were how it was, I think, folded in here. So maybe that should come out, I hope. But, oh my goodness. This is like so crushed. It's so sad, but I've got 1 bag of Swish and 2 bags of Swish, and that's it. I needed it, and so I did. This one I was not on any extra special discount or anything. I just genuinely needed the yarn, and I'm happy to report it showed up in plastic bags. But I was running low. I think I was down to like below 30. Because with the bases I use the most, I like to have, like, when I film with my shelves behind me, you'll see that it's often pretty full of like some of the bases I use the most. And so when I start to run low, I know that, and I don't have replacements to go on the shelf as I'm using it, then I know I need to order more. So yeah, those are my orders. I know I need to quit wiggling. I wish that there was a setting. I wonder if there is a setting. Buffering. I wish I could I wish there was a setting where I could like adjust the, what did I do? I did something. No. What did I do? Oh, maybe that's better. I wish I could adjust the I wish I could adjust the depth of focus or something and have the autofocus go a little faster. I don't have a setting for the focus on this one. Like, I wish I could change the aperture so then it wouldn't be such like a narrow depth of field, and it like, you know, I move my hand and then it's like, oh, I should focus on that. It's like, well, no. So that's a wee bit unfortunate. But the view sizer is like a freebie winner. I'm pretty into that. Yeah, so that's my first, those are 3 of, actually I can check my count. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 orders at KnitPicks. So maybe it's 7. And I pay for all these orders myself. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I've placed 8 orders so far. Oh, that was Dollar Yarn Day. Okay. Yeah. But I got, so I think 2 or 3 more of those orders are just 20 packs with some other freebies. Wait, where's my champagne bag? Oh, it's in the hall. So this is my 4th of these bags. I have one re-crochet one that has little crochet hooks on the inside. And I have 2 KnitPicks ones, and I use them all the time just as like knitting bags. They're nice and deep, and they've got like a squared bottom. I don't know. I just really like them, and I haven't paid for a single one of them. They've all been big sale freebies over the years. But I think I got a cotton tote for my re-crochet freebie because I was like, maybe I don't need a 5th. Maybe I don't need a 5th. But yeah, that is my early KnitPicks haul. And the yarn is heating. I have more yarn soaking, but I really like sitting down right now. I don't know why that wore me out so much. Nope, you cannot borrow my credit card, but I buy, it's funny, I would say that I buy like most of the yarn that I dye in the following year in November, because I get tons of stuff that like I use and play with or squirrel away for times like today. Yeah, so yeah, I can't figure out an OBS. Can you lock focus on a camera in OBS? Oh, long press the crosshair. I don't know what the crosshair is though. So I don't know. There may be a way. I'm gonna have to play around with it. I just know that I move and then it's like, oh, you want to focus over there? I think it's because I move my hands too much, and then I try to hold things up to camera, and then that like affects it. But I don't, like on my DSLR, like I can see like a nice little square where the focus is, and so then I know like, okay, it's auto-focusing on my face when I move. But I don't have that in this software. You have one of those nice project bags too. You've got a saffron color. Yeah, they're really awesome project bags. But yeah, I need to decide if I'm going to dye more yarn or if I'm spent. Yeah, there isn't. So yes, Julia, there would be a plus sign in the middle of the screen, but there isn't one in the screen here that I can see. Unless I can see it. See, there's like a button that's configure crossbar, but you don't see where the crossbar is. So, yeah, that button exists. Well, see, now you're doing okay. What? don't know. I mean, can I hold up? Did that button, just pressing that button, fix it? So it's focused on that. Because there's no like crossbar, but maybe that did fix it. And it's like, oh, we'll focus on the center. But I'm like, there was no crossbar, so I couldn't see where I'm telling it to focus. But yes, it's time to listen to your body and go to sleep. I know, I'm debating. I often go to sleep at like 7 on non-streamy days. Because we're talking, yeah, but there's still no crosshair anywhere on here. So, I mean, if that fixed it, then I can start to love this camera, and that would be amazing. Because if it's now telling it like, oh yeah, focus right here on this person as she wiggles because I move. But all right, I am going to stand up and go check on the yarn, and I'll bring you here, even though there's nothing here to see. Because, oh, and that's convenient. Okay, I am going to turn off the heat on the steamer basket, and I'm going to leave the yarn in there. And I'm choosing to do this because I am concerned that the yarn will, I'm going to do that because sometimes silk needs a little bit more heat, and this will give it, for probably an hour or something, more heat as it sits there. And I'm going to be honest and listen to my body as well, in that I am feeling quite tired, which I am not afraid to admit. I mean, I've talked about it before. So I have had chronic fatigue syndrome for over a decade. So I'm always tired. And I have reasonable coping skills to function through the fatigue and brain fog and things like that. But the fog is getting denser, and so I should listen to that and stop so that way I can film stuff tomorrow. But I'm like, but I have all this other yarn soaking. What am I going to do with it? So is this really working now? What on earth? Because yeah, I moved forward and it focused. What on earth? I mean, there's this button that, man, I just don't know. Oh wait, I could do transitions. There's a lot I don't know about this software. Apparently, there's a lot of like cool streaming stuff that you can get and do. But I think that, I wonder, actually. Nope. Okay. It didn't even upload it. I was gonna be like, ooh, maybe I can go see photos. And I cannot. I was gonna see if I could see, like, if the picture I took on my camera had already uploaded to Google Photos, so then I could download it and put it up here to show, like, there is blue. I don't think we'll see it in the end, but I did add it. It is technically in there. So I think that I am probably going to go to bed, and then I might play with this colorway with the other yarn that I have pre-soaking and include that in the recap versus pushing and trying to do it today. And I still have no idea what kind of technique I want to do for it, but maybe I'll do something a little bit, maybe I'll do something like twist it in the pan and pour dye over with these various browns and grays, and maybe like then add some pops of blue or something. But I'll do something with it and film it, even if it's a bit of a time lapse, so that way I can have those other yarns that I showed at the beginning of the stream dyed. But yeah, some like cold process, or I don't know exactly what I was going to do, but all I know is that for whatever reason, my back is hurting so much more today than it has from like just about any other project that I've done recently. And I did, so earlier this summer, I injured my wrist filming probably 2 different videos, which I have not yet edited yet. But I just was doing a lot of a repetitive motion, and then I couldn't use my hand for a couple weeks. So yeah, I'm trying to be better about listening to my body, and thankfully my wrist is like back to normal. So I'm still being careful with it, but like I'm not favoring it in any kind of way anymore. So it's doing so much better, but I'm trying to be like cognizant of that. But yeah, I don't think I've done like speckles over the countertop like this in a while, and so this might be why. Even though it's not speckled, but I am still happy, even though I've started finding it difficult. I am still really happy that I did this technique on the countertop, because I think that if I was trying to do something immersion dyeing with this silk, it would take so long for the colors to set that it would have taken even more time to layer all these colors on in the way I wanted. And so I really, really like the effect that I think we got. But yeah, so I'm not going to push through it tonight as much as I was like, oh, I want to. But I'm really enjoying this color palette. And so I think I might stick with the same kind of colors, especially when I see what comes out of the dye pot in the morning. Oh yeah, because I was talking about the wrist in my Rigid Head Loom video that came out recently, where I was like still trying to do it with the wrist brace on, because I really, really wanted to try it, and I had time when I could. And I'm happy to say, oh, where is it? You want to see my second project? I vlogged this one too, but I made like a little scarf. It's a pretty little scarf, and you can't really see the colors on camera. It's like a teal, like Aztec gold, kind of yellow and purple. It was a Knit Crate yarn. It's superwash merino, and it's just this cute little scarf. And I think that Ryder has claimed it. There's definitely mistakes in here, which you can't see. Of course, I'm not in focus now, but it is refocusing. Yeah, so you can't see the errors, but I did vlog this one as well. And I think I'm going to try something similar for the next few projects. So I don't think I'm going to vlog every weaving one, but I might do like, maybe I'll do some summaries of like, these are the things that I wove in the last month, and here are the mistakes I've made. Yeah, so it's really, really pretty. Let's see, mistakes I made. I warped the loom backwards. So then I had to like end up tying it on both sides. So I set it up backwards. And then like, it's just plain weave, but then there's some areas where like clearly I missed a few strands and the tension was a little off because I warped it backwards and then did a workaround. So it was a learning process, but I think that it's a good length size for a snowman. It's also a good size for a 5-year-old. It is more of like a fashion size for an adult, because you can see it just goes to like here. So it works, and it's merino, so it's warm. It's really adorable, but I wish that I would like to do one that is a little bit wider and a little bit longer. And so I think with the whatever size heddle it was I was using, I'm going to try DK instead of worsted weight and see how I like that. But the fabric is like really nice, so I'm happy. So wet finishing made the drape amazing, because it's a little bit dense and it was really stiff, but a wet finish really just was, I'm glad I had heard that tip. So anyway, I will have a vlog December or January, depending on when I edit it. But yeah, I finished that in like 2 days. So I'm like, oh, weaving is fast. But I don't think my next project will be my hand-dyed yarn, because I have some other like Knit Crate yarn and I'm like, oh, I like this color. This seems like a fun one to practice with. And so it's been fun. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I did put loom stand on my Christmas wish list. So we'll see if I get that. But yes, I am definitely taking care and easy with my wrist. So my mom has chronic hand and wrist pain from a car accident when I was in high school. And so I am very like cognizant of not wanting to push too far. And so if it starts to hurt at all, then I stop and I put the brace back on. But I haven't needed to put the brace on in a while. So I even, like, when I injured it, I used a sling to remind myself not to use it. Like, I didn't need the sling, but I did that to be like, do not use it. And this year I was planning on buying a skein twister anyway. Because and then injuring my wrist was like, getting a skein twister to just reduce some of the like repetitive twisting motions that I do, ended up being a really, really good idea. And so, so I'm trying with that. And I think one of the next tools I will get for myself is an electric ball winder as well, just to reduce some of those repetitive motions. So I am trying to be hard, but this one, like, maybe was I not wearing my Crocs? That also could have been an issue too. The Crocs give some cushion versus the floor, but I was definitely bending over the counter weird. So yeah, so it's super drapey now, but I think that, yeah, it definitely would have still like come together a bit if there was more space and things were spaced a little bit further. Not like super further, but I think it could have been like maybe I used an 8 heddle, and maybe it could have been like a 7 might have been a better fit for the yarn or something. I'm not sure. You got crochet elbow, and it's hard because it's worse when you do something that twists your wrists, but not so much that you can't stop. Yeah, so with the injury, I could use my hand, but it was like this that I couldn't do. And it was because of pouring. I'd hold like the measuring cup in my left hand, and then I was just carrying liters of water over and over and just pouring into it and just holding it and twist. Yeah, I did too much of that. So I now bring cups over to the sink, fill them there, and then carry them over. But yeah, anyway, thanks you all for hanging out and chatting with me. I know that there was not quite as much dyeing as I always do for these streams, but it was fun to do the unboxing as well. And I'm tired. But I guess I can tell you now that if you're a ChemKnits patron, the Patreon newsletter will come out at some point tomorrow with a new episode of Dye Pot PS. And if you're not a ChemKnits patron, there will be a new episode of Dye Pot PS that you can see as well. So ChemKnits on Patreon, ChemKnits patrons get early access to the newest Dye Pot PS video. And whenever I release a new one to patrons, I then make the old one public for everyone else. And so that's a really fun, useful video, the last one. And then the next one is that patrons can see tomorrow is a roving video, and actually might inspire something I'm gonna do. And yeah, so I should do my conclusions. So if you want to dye along with me and share your squirrel colored yarn and be featured in the live stream recap, which will come out in mid-December, just share the yarn that you dyed inspired by this photo on Instagram using the hashtag ChemKnitsDyeAlong, or share it on Facebook with a photo comment on this image. And then I'll pick a bunch to include in the recap. And that's one of my favorite parts, because it's fun to see how different people interpret very, very similar photos. And so, or the same photo even, and how many different kind of colorways you can create. And so, yeah, I think that it is very, very fun. And yeah, I mean, my KnitPicks big sale links like in the video description, it's in the chat. And the Hanukkah samplers, those links should also be in the video description. If not, you can go to the ChemKnits Creations Etsy shop. That link for sure would be in the description. And so, yeah, all that helps help support the channel. But the biggest way you support the channel is by subscribing, liking, and turning on notifications, and that is free. So, yeah. Wow, the colors are really off. My dress is like bright green and white, and it does not look like that on camera. But anyway, now that I think I've solved some of that like autofocus issue, and it seems to, I think I'm still in focus. Certainly I'm not as blurry as I get, and I've been moving, so that is amazing. And so maybe the answer was not just to press the one button, but I had to press and hold the button. Seems to be doing better. So, oh no, as I get close and get blurry. I did something. Did I speak too soon? I moved too close. Maybe there's just, maybe I need to have the camera further away from me and then not be this close. But anyway, I'm going to head out. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!